Without further ado, I say we jump in. Let's start with Indianapolis, the inner city Indianapolis market. Mike, I'll let you take over. Let's rock.
Yeah, let's do it. So this is January. One thing just to kind of mention on this new layout is that we have broken it out a little bit differently in the past. And so we're not going to have some historical numbers like we had before, like the number of active homes. This is we're teasing the information out a little bit more. And so the numbers might change from last month or last year if you continue to watch these market reports. And so just wanted to kind of take a note of that. And so what we're doing is we're breaking it down into single family home data. We're also going to include condos and townhomes, and then we're also going to include apartments because there is a really big difference. I mean, we'll go through it here just so you can see. But and then we're also excited to, I think, probably have a little bit more accurate data on the days on the market. Last year we struggled a little bit with that, and some we couldn't even report because there wasn't a ton of data. So we've got a new data set and feel real good about having that days on the market there, have it be more accurate this year. So super excited about that. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So number of active homes, and this is rentals. Okay, so we're going to do rental data and then sales data. So starting off with the rental data, there's 1,086 homes on the market. Again, we don't have year-over-year data. But that is down slightly month over month, 2%. Just from our knowledge of last market reports, the number of active homes has remained pretty steady and pretty consistent with last year. So no huge change there. Average rental price in Indianapolis is $1,610, and year over year that's about a 4% increase. So that's pretty decent. And then month over month that's just under a 1% increase there. Days on the market 57. So that's not awesome, but it is January, so it's not unheard of. It just kind of is what it is. January is a tough time or December really is a tough time to lease your home. So I'd like to see that go down. I would think that we would see that go down as we get into the spring season, but it is what it is. 57 days right now. And then this is a data point where sometimes we get this, and so we started to include this. This is the price per square foot for a rental. And, I think you see this more on multifamily than you do on single family, but I think it's definitely a data point worth following and worth looking at. You can see month over month, it jumped, almost 12%. So we don't have historicals yet on this, but we will keep an eye on it. So the average price per square foot for single family homes in Indianapolis is $1.15. So just something interesting to watch. And then, as I mentioned, we kind of broke out, and we have data now on apartments and townhomes. So the top graph that you're going to see there in between is for apartments. The apartments, there's 793 apartments in Indianapolis for rent right now, with an average rental price of $1,084. So this is kind of one of the reasons that we broke it down, is what a big price difference between single family and average rental price for apartments. So $1,610 for single family, $1,084 for apartments. But then your price per square foot, obviously, typically apartments are going to be smaller, and you're going to get more price per square foot. So $1.50 in the price per square foot for apartments. And the next graph is townhomes. So we've got 128 townhomes, and average rental price there for a townhome in Indianapolis, $1,595. And then average days on the market for a townhome, very similar to single family, 54. And then, not surprisingly, the price per square foot is kind of in the middle at $1.24 price per square foot for townhomes for Indianapolis. I don't want to go over all three of these graphs, but they are just kind of available for your guys' consumption. But you can see on almost all three, single family and apartments, and townhomes is kind of held even, but the average rent is up year over year, which is super good. And then the only other thing I want to comment on these graphs down here is on the single family homes. It looks like it's returning to kind of normal. That's a relatively normal graph where we see the increase in the summer, and then it kind of dips off in terms of average rental price for the winter season. So, last couple of years, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, Chris, we've seen spikes and peaks and valleys, and it's been wild. This is kind of a return to normal. So that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. The real estate market has been trying to find quote unquote normalcy here for a couple years. And I think, to your point, I think we're finally starting to see it here. One thing I just wanted to mention there on number of active homes, you'll probably notice the year over year is currently in A, which we do intend on building that data over time. And then again, just reiterating Mike's point, the graphs there at the bottom are just primarily for your consumption, but over time it is for us to highlight trends that are happening in each individual market. And in addition to this, we will have a graphic that you'll be able to find on all of our social media channels, which if you're looking for where you might be able to find those, you can see those there at the bottom of this graphic. So go take a look, and we will include a special graphic, which will include these average rent price trends over time. These graphics here at the bottom, they will include all of the submarkets as well. So you can really get a snapshot of the entire Indianapolis and surrounding markets all in one nice, neat graphic. So I think it's going to be sweet. We are looking forward to your feedback as you begin to digest this information, and we'd love to bring you more information that you feel would be helpful to your specific search here as you're looking for a new real estate investment property. I think that does it for the Indianapolis rental data. You want to jump over to sales?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
So this is also something new for us that we talked a little bit about sales data. We had, I think, average sales price and then number of homes sold, but didn't really dive too deep into it. And we work with investors all the time, and this is kind of a big piece of the puzzle. If you're looking to purchase a home, you need to know what's going on with the buying of it. And so we've decided to expand the sales data a little bit with its own kind of graphic and a few more pieces of information here for you. So we're going to look at the average sales price. And again, this is when we do these, we look at it from an investor point of view of under $500,000. So we cap this at $500,000. So if you're looking for a home under $500,000, the average sales price in Indy is $241,269, which is, I say this every month, but it's just so incredibly affordable.
Yeah.
Nationwide, it's just even locally here, it's so affordable. 240, super affordable. Average days on the market is 53, and be curious to see. We haven't priced that, or we haven't done the trend on that. So I'll be curious to see how that trends over time, and see how that goes with the spring. I mean, it should trend down just like the rental market as well. The days on the market should go down as we get into spring and summer, but be curious to see. It's kind of been a weird sales couple of years, really. And so we were just having this discussion, Chris, is what's happening with the market? Are we kind of at an inflection point? We had a bit of a disagreement. You're seeing on the ground that it's kind of softening.
Yeah. So look, if you're watching this, here's a quick little peek inside of what it's like for us boots on the ground, real estate professionals, boots on the ground. The data that's coming out from even the local listing service here in the Indianapolis area, I argue all the time that by the time that data makes it to the consumer, it's already outdated, which again is a huge reason why you should be tuned in to this right here, because this is information I would argue that you're getting even ahead of the big services like the multi-listening service. Excuse me. So what I'm seeing here on the ground is that the sales market is absolutely slowing. And I think that that's indicated here when you're looking at the average days on market year over year. You're up 26%, month over month, you're up over 8%. And then if you jump all the way over to the number of homes sold month over month, you're down 27%. So I think that well, I'm a little bit hesitant to mention it, but I do think that we are going to be entering much more of a buyer's market here in the short term. Now, do I think that there's anything indicating that home prices are going to plummet? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. But right now, there's no indication that there's anything that's going to be happening to interest rates. They're going to remain high. I think the other day they were at 8.1% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. So if that stays where it's at, without a doubt, the slow on the buyer side is going to continue, and I think it's going to slow. So hopefully that adjusts things to more of a buyer's market in the long term.
Yeah, I think my only counter to that, Chris, is that we're still not seeing the inventories that would be needed to kind of slow that down. So we might see more and more, but people still have those low interest rates they're hanging on to. They don't want to sell their house. I don't know. I think it's going to be more of a balanced market than than a buyer's market, but we'll see.
I know that the numbers do indicate that there's inventory is still low, and I do feel like it's probably still on the low side, but I don't know that those numbers have updated to where it's real time data. I mean, we have home builders here, even in this area, in this market, the local market, I would say is still doing quite well, and they have new build homes that are continuing to sit there longer than they have over the short term here recently.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can see it. I mean, average days on the market is 53. Be curious to see. Again, we haven't pulled this historical data, but
right.
I would think if we looked at that a year or two ago, that would be a lot less than 53 days on the market. 53 is reasonable. That's a reasonable time on the market in terms of sales data.
Yeah, exactly. Gosh, it wasn't long ago where I swear that average days on market would probably be like 9.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.